Alright, welcome back. This video is going to be, or this is probably going to be a series of videos. We are going to show you how to triple boot your Macintosh computer. In this case, I have a MacBook that I'm going to be using, but as long as you're running OS X Snow Leopard or OS X, this should work for you. I'm running OS X Snow Leopard on this machine. I'm going to be putting Windows 7 Professional on there, as well as Ubuntu 10.04. Now, the first thing you want to do whenever you mess around with your operating system on a computer is you want to make sure you back up everything on your computer that's worth anything to you. So I've already backed up all the information that I have on this computer. I got a lot of music and stuff like that, so it's already backed up, already squared away. What we're going to do next is we're going to download a new EFI. It's called rEFIt. If you're not familiar, an EFI is similar to a BIOS on a PC. So we're going to go to the browser and we're going to look up rEFIt. So type in rEFIT in Google, and here we go. The top one, rEFIT, the rEFIT project. Now what you want to do is you're going to download the first one down here under the downloads. It's rEFIT 0.14 Mac disk image. So we're going to click on that and we're going to download that. Save the file, hit OK, and it's downloading. Alright, I'll just double click it and it should appear over on the side. rEFIT. Okay. Now you want to install this. Continue, continue. Agree to the license. Install. Alright, the installation was successful. I'm going to close this. Alright, the next thing that you want to do is you're going to want to repartition your disk. Now, I'm going to triple boot this machine, so I'm going to need space for OS X, which is already on there. I'm going to need space for Windows 7, and I'm going to need space for Ubuntu. So what you want to do is you want to go into disk utility. So just type disk utility. And get into that application. And you're going to want to repartition the hard drive. I have a 250 gigabyte hard drive here. So you click on that. And you're going to go to partition over here. Okay? Now you see here you have what I currently have on the machine. I have 152 gigabytes of available space. I'm going to give 80 gigabytes of that to Windows 7. I'm going to give 40 gigabytes of that to Ubuntu. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by adding a partition down here by hitting the plus sign. So I'm going to hit that and I'm going to name it. Right now it's MacBook 2. We're going to rename this Windows 7. Now, Windows doesn't read Mac formats, so what you're going to have to do is format this to MS-DOS FAT. Okay, so you're going to have to do that, and I'm going to change the gigabytes here to 80. All right, and I'm going to hit apply down here. And partition. And there we go. Now we just got to wait for it to, this little thing down here, it says verifying disk. Just have to wait for it to partition and reformat the new partition. Alright, now we have a new partition for Windows. It's 80.13 gigabytes, a little more, but that's cool. Now what we're going to do is put the Ubuntu partition in basically the same way. You're just going to click on MacBook, the partition we're taking everything away from. You're going to hit the plus sign, and we're going to make this, call it Ubuntu. Now for this, we're also going to do MS-DOS FAT format. We're going to have to change it later. We're actually going to have to change the Windows one later too, but you're going to have to change them both to MS-DOS FAT. That way you can actually use it with the new operating systems I'm going to be putting on here. So I'm going to hit that, and again we're going to make this 40 gigabytes. That'll give us a little free space on the MacBook, which I don't really need too much on there, plus I can free some of that off, and enough to play with on these other two. So what we're going to do is hit apply on here. Just make sure everything's the way I want it, and hit apply and partition, and there we go. Alright, that's all set. Now the first thing you'll notice over here on the right hand side is that we actually have two new hard disks because of the two new partitions. We have a Windows 7 right here and an Ubuntu over here. The next thing we're going to do, that pretty much does it for this video. This is basically just showing you how to prep the MacBook to add the other operating systems on there. The next thing that we're actually going to do is we're going to reboot the computer, and we're going to install Windows 7. That's going to be the next video. So, like always, if you like what you see here, please subscribe, and if you have any questions, comments, or anything, please put them in the comments below.